today I've teamed up with Canon to take a closer look at one of their awesome cameras, the C300 Mark III. And guess what? I happen to know an amazing filmmaker who has been using this camera on this project. Hi Jason, it's awesome to finally meet you. I think we have been following each other for years now, but we never got a chance to actually meet. So can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your journey as a filmmaker?
Sure, it's really great to meet you too. I've been following you and just love the work that you do and just the personality that you bring to your filmmaking and all of the great stuff that you've done. It's been really great watching you and seeing you.
Thank you so much.
As a filmmaker. And yeah, just a big fan. I guess, my journey as a filmmaker is, I started, I guess when I was very young. I was probably like 14 years old when I realized that I wanted to tell stories and tell them with my camera. And so I started in New York, at that young age and just kept going. I started documenting street culture in New York City, working for magazines and just, pulling my camera out any which way and wherever I possibly could and finding subjects and muses, I was just thirsty for it. And so, I became a filmmaker. I was in, New York for a really long time, and then I moved out to Los Angeles about 21 years ago. And it's just been kind of going since. A lot of documentaries, a lot of human interest stories, a lot of, sports documentaries, and I've worked with music for a really long time with Interscope Records for about 7 or 8 years. Just thirsty for stories,
Thank you so much for sharing, Jason. So let's dive into some specific details about the C300. So first, what drew you to use this specific camera for your latest project, and what was the project?
So I think let me go back even more. I think, as the 7D and the 5D started kind of coming out, I obviously got that. Before that, I had, the DVX 100s, the VX 1000 was a camera I used, and obviously I used film cameras as well. But I think as the 7D and the 5D and all of these things started kind of progressing, the thing that I missed from the 5D and the 7D was the control so it was a still camera that moved into a motion that had motion capabilities. And I think what I missed was having the control of the audio and being able to kind of, feel more like a camera, like the body to feel more like a camera, like ergonomically. And so when the C300, the first C300 came out, I literally was the first, I bought it right away. And I was like, everything I love about the 7D and the 5D inside the C300 Mark I body, but ergonomically it felt more like a camera that was focused more for cinema. So I fell in love with the camera immediately. I loved it. It immediately kind of, brought up my game, I think, a bit as a filmmaker. And so, as they've kind of progressed, I got the Mark II. I actually shot the entire halftime documentary for Netflix that was up with J-Lo on that camera, the C300 Mark II. And so, the Mark III came out. I immediately bought the Mark III. And I'm just like believer in Canon. The image quality is so beautiful. The raw files are so beautiful. The C-Log is amazing. The latitude that we get in color is really, really beautiful. And I pair that camera with, I have a set of prime lenses, a set of Duclos Distagon prime lenses. So it goes from the 18 to the 100. And that's my set of lenses that I use. I also have the Canon 24-105, which I really love, and the Canon 17-40, and a Sigma 18-30 something, I think 18-35, which is a 1.8, which is like, in my opinion, like one of the greatest lenses for doc filmmaking. My favorite focal lengths are the 35 and the 75. Because, when I'm 35, I'm up close to my subjects, and I can also
it's prime lens, right?
Okay. Yeah, those are my favorite, the 35 millimeter and the 75 millimeter. They're just beautiful lenses, and I think between those two focal lengths, you can do a lot. And I think when I switched to like the 24 to 105, it's more when I'm like really running, you know, where I need that.
You need to switch also like the zoom.
Yeah.
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 So,
And also,
so when you use a prime, it's when you are like mostly stationary, where you don't really, okay.
when I don't have to like, when I'm not running, you know, through 10 different scenes and setups and
Exactly.
really truly kind of run and gun. Although I will say that I did do a lot of that when I was filming Halftime with the Mark II. I did run and gun with the primes a lot, but I lean more on those lenses than I should have, because it was very difficult, because I'm one person operation. So you have your camera, you're focusing, and you're also riding the audio, right? So the C300 Mark II had the audio controls up top. And so I'm literally focusing right here like this, riding the audio and shooting the image.
But wait, this one, you don't use autofocus? Like,
so I don't use autofocus.
Okay.
I know
why?
that's
I would love to know why.
You can't, my whole thing is I never want to miss a frame. And if I want to, if I miss a frame or if I miss something, like I need to blame myself and not autofocus. Like autofocus is great with the tracking and you can hit it, but sometimes it's not like amazing when you're running and gunning, because there's only so much the camera and the lens can process in who to follow, and I'd rather have that control.
So you put the peaking, like, is it what?
Yeah, I look at I look at the image, but I look at the peaking and the line.
Okay.
For that it's like set up. Plus, I also, on top of the C300 Mark III, which I have, I can probably show you my rig. I have a small HD monitor on top. I have a small rig focus wheel on the side. I have a matte box. Yeah, I have a brick on the back.
And so it's whole handheld. Like, it's
handheld, but I have an easy rig that I use now. Because it becomes that I built it out to become very heavy, but I need the bigger monitor. I can't trust that little monitor on the camera.
But so you don't use any stabilization stuff like on top of this, right? Like the Ronin S or like
no, that's not my that's not my style. Like I don't I prefer.
But I think those kind of camera are not made to use.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't put like I'd put like a an R5 or a an R3 or one of those cameras on a gimbal or what have you. But again, you're never gonna see me with a gimbal and an R5. My instincts as a filmmaker don't go there. And I don't, I love them. I hire people to bring the R5s and the gimbals all the time. But me, when I'm holding the actual camera, it's about the organicness of the little bit of the imperfect kind of frame, but perfect for it, but just not. I want the viewer to feel like they're standing there.
Okay.
And that is, you move around your head, you're constantly moving and you're doing these things as a human. I prefer to have my view of this scene to feel like I am, comes to that voyeur verite is that voyeuristic look, but that verite feel. And so I really, that's my style. That's who I am, my brain doesn't think in terms of gimbals,
In terms of audio, so I tried to just set it up, turn it on. I filmed something and I realized that the audio was not recording. Like, do we have on this camera to have an external audio device, like a mic?
I always have. So basically with that camera, I have a, you want me to get the camera actually? Hold on.
Oh yeah, sure. Wow, okay.
I actually didn't pack this up, so I'm not. And they did a good job in my last job. Okay. So I can start it if you want. I would love. Yes. This is what my C300 looks like.
Wow.
So I have a good boom mic that's hooked up here, and that goes XLR directly in, and all the monitoring is right here.
Okay.
So I have a matte box. and I put half black pearl mist, because I love that filter. It blooms the lights really pretty. I think it's super cinematic. And I also have this big kind of small HD monitor that I hook up, and that all has to get powered by, an Anton Bauer brick. So the C300, which essentially is this camera with a lens, I build all this stuff around it because it feels good to me.
And so basically, how do you hold it?
So I have a easy rig.
Okay.
And I wind up, this is how,
So when you have an easy ring, you don't feel any weight,
you feel a little bit, but it evenly distributes it really nicely. So, you can go for hours versus, you can't go for, certain people can go for hours like this, but
it's
you're
hard,
gonna breaks, and, you're gonna, it's gonna be tough,
That's amazing. Wow. I'm so amazed right now. Do you think you can share a specific scene or shot where the C300 capabilities really shine? Something that only this camera could have give you the result you wanted? Why do you use this camera and not another one?
So I think, with the C300, I'm just used to the camera, right?
Yeah.
Like I shoot with the Alexas, I shoot with the the Amira or the Mini or the Alexa 35. I shoot with all of those cameras, and I also but the C300 is compact and small, and you can record for a lot longer. The batteries will power the camera for longer, so you don't need as much kind of assistance around you when you're using this camera. You can really kind of do it by yourself for the most part. And so that in itself is the biggest value for me when I'm doing documentaries, is that I don't, if someone calls me, hey, this is happening, you need to get over there and we need to get it done. I don't want to have to call 3 other people. I don't want to have to go to rental houses. I don't want to have to do all of the things. I want to be able to just get up and go. And that's the best part about this camera, is you can just get up and go.
Yeah.
And the media isn't massive. I have 2 cards in there, 2 512 gig cards that can last me probably the whole day. Very rarely do I shoot 3 cards.
Okay.
So what I have in the camera is 2 512s. That'll take me usually for the whole day.
And I already asked you, but when you are far from the subject for the audio, so you have your boom mic, but you still need someone there.
I have sound people that I work with, and they'll send a we'll have time code, like a locket box that they put on, so the time code matches the audio that they record on their sound bags. And then I'll also have them send me reference audio from whatever they're capturing. So if they have a wireless mic on a subject and a boom, around the area, they'll send that to my camera as reference, but all of the clean files will live inside of their audio bag. But a lot of times, if I'm shooting and I don't have a sound person, this microphone is insane. This microphone.
Which one is that?
It's a Sennheiser. I don't remember the exact.
Oh, you can.
I've had it. It's a Sennheiser mic. I've had it. This specific mic for 10 years. It's incredible.
Okay. And do you record C-Log when you record?
I record C-Log.
And you do color correction on your after?
Later. I work with this incredible colorist, Humam Abdallah, a Lebanese colorist who lives in British Lebanese colorist who's incredible. He's been coloring my stuff forever. I love him. Wow. He's like my brother. And that's the key, right? You shoot log, you shoot, as great of a negative as you possibly can to give it to the colorist to make the image sing.
But when you shoot log on your monitor, do you have a LUT applied just to see? Okay.
So I have a Rec 709 LUT that's my monitor, and the camera itself will send out a Rec 709 LUT, so that way whatever you're looking at will give you an idea of what it looks like later on.
Sounds great. Okay.
But I will say, in audio is very important, and sometimes audio is more important than picture when you're doing documentaries, right? But with that boom mic on my camera, it becomes a dance, right? So you're in a situation and there's things that are happening. You have to know, as a filmmaker, you have to listen and really be aware of what's going on. So if I see someone talking, there's a conversation I know I want, I need to run over to them so my mic is right near them so I get that conversation. And then I'll go and get the B-roll after, or I'll get the B-roll before, so I'll be able to cover that inside of that. So with Halftime, the documentary was on Netflix, the J-Lo documentary, I didn't have a sound person for the entire documentary. I shot that all with that boom mic. And I was close to her, and when all of the conversations that were happening that were important, I made sure I was right there. And that's the biggest thing, is you got to listen and know what's going on.
You have some headphones too?
Yep.
Okay.
I have these Sony headphones, which are incredible.
So the headphones is linked to the camera?
Yep. It's linked right to the camera. I'm listening to what's going on. If I have a wireless on someone, that's on one side and my boom is on the other.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy.
It's a lot. So it becomes like, when you add it all together, like it just becomes, you just get autopilot on it. It's like, okay, I need to do this, and this, and then it all makes sense.
Wow. Okay. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Like, it's so amazing. Like I'm not a filmmaker, like I'm a VFX
artist. Yes, you are.
No, I'm a short form.
You're a filmmaker.
Okay, but not at your level, I will say. But for me, I've never done any film school or anything. It's always like I have this passion for filmmaking, but meeting someone that really work at this level, for me, it's like a chance. So really, thank you for that. So thank you so much, Jason, for your time. It was like, I think it won't only help me, but a lot of person to know how you use this camera. So thank you, and maybe see you soon on another video.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.